Alright, this is going to be a short video, but very briefly talking about how to select the contracts you want to trade. Up here, like we mentioned in the review, or the overview video, this is where you're going to see the contracts you're currently tracking and then be able to add more contracts that you wish to trade with. You can manage the contracts you have active up here simply by going to Contract Management. You click the Contract tab up top, click Manage Contracts, and this is going to pop up a window here that allows you to go through and select the different markets you wish to trade. There is a Forex option. It's not going to be available unless you request that from the broker, and likely there's an additional fee. If you want to trade the Forex, that's fine. But for free, we have access to be able to trade the futures contracts here in the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, which CME stands for, Chicago Mercantile Exchange. Okay, first we like to focus mainly on the Russell for short-term trading, but we also follow the S&P. We can for short-term, depending on the market rhythm and how well the market's moving, or we can use it for long-term trading. And I personally like the Russell for short-term trading and the S&P for longer-term trading. What I mean by longer-term trading is usually using maybe a 5-minute chart and taking trends. Whoa, sorry about that. Taking trends in the market as opposed to short bursts of movement like we do with the Russell. The Russell tends to follow the S&P in its trend cycles, but is more exaggerated in its patterns. You can say that for a lot of different markets, they tend to follow each other, but that's kind of the relationship I've seen between the Russell and the S&P. Alright, to select the Russell, we are first going to go to CME, scroll all the way down to where you start seeing these mini signs here, because you don't want to get on the large S&P. That's a totally different margin. But if you'll click on Mini S&P, and then select the first contract here. Contract is CONT, and this is going to say September 10, but it might depend on what contracts are available at this time. Okay, so this is the current contracts that we're trading, but when September happens, sorry, keep having things pop up here. When September, the contracts expire 4 times a year, and they'll expire in March, in June, in September, and December. So when they expire in September, we're going to roll over to the December contracts. This, by checking the first box here, it's going to automatically roll over probably about a week before the September contracts expire. So you don't need to worry about moving over. It's going to do it itself for you. So don't worry about that. We're going to just go ahead and select Apply if you don't already have that applied. And then you can come back here and close CME. To add the Russell, we're going to go to the NYBOT here. NYBOT folder. Go down to Emini Russell. Click on that. And again, first contract that appears. Like I said, this one's the September 10 contracts, but that is likely to change. Depending on what time you're viewing this video, we'll probably be moving on to different contracts, maybe December 10 or March 2011, whatever, in the future. On the Training Center, you can find a chart or reference guide that will show you what months the contracts expire, and it's generally going to be the 3rd Friday of those specific months, which I said is March, June, September, and December. But this will give you a brief overview of how to add those contracts, and you just click Apply and OK, and you'll be able to see the contracts you're trading on the markets you're trading.